What's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here, bringing you a series of movie reviews. We're going to be talking about the Riddick series from Pitch Black, which came out in 2000, as well as the Chronicles of Riddick from 2004, along with the third and, for now, final film we got in 2013, Riddick. Watch these three movies over the past 2-3 weeks or so. I'm a Vin Diesel fan. I used to like him quite a bit when I was younger. Before discovering other types of stars and such like that. He was my favorite action star when I was younger for a time. Besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, who probably still is, along with Jean-Claude Van Damme. As you guys know, how many movies of his I spam on this page. But yeah, Vin Diesel, has a certain, charm and likability to him in a movie. He oftentimes plays, fairly similar characters. But these Riddick movies, I think, are probably his most unique work that he's done. I'd take about 30 more of these before Fast and Furious 30 or whatever one they're on. They're really into 9 or whatever, but I used to like those as well, the first few. I like the first one with The Rock and the one where Letty comes back, or Michelle Rodriguez, but they just progressively got more and more over the top, just way overboard action. They're always, not so heavy movies, but like the first few, they felt like they're still about something a bit, but now it's about all like the crazy stunts, no matter how impossible they actually are in reality. But yeah, anyway, these Riddick movies I have actually been eager to talk about and go through. This isn't going to be an overly long video. I just sort of want to touch on all three of them and just give you my thoughts on each as much as I can. Pitch Black, it came out in 2000, obviously starred Vin Diesel. This is one of his main breakout roles. It was directed by David Trilogy, and also starred Rod Mitchell, along with Claudia Black and Keith David and Cole Hauser. And a commercial transport ship and its crew are marooned on a planet full of bloodthirsty creatures only come out to feast at night, but then they learn that a month-long eclipse is about to occur. And of course, meanwhile, they have a prisoner, Richard B. Riddick. He has these special eyes for certain reasons, and they have to debate on, if they should use him to guide them through what's about to happen and transpire this night, or try and survive on their own. Can they trust him? That kind of thing. Now, Pitch Black, it's definitely not like the other two in the series at all. At one point, this was apparently planned to be a standalone film. They were going to be a standalone film, but then Vin Diesel and I think it was one of the writers or something just found the character so interesting and they wanted to explore him more and use him as sort of spawn basically a franchise, or at least a series here. So this movie does have a different feel to it. It is actually fairly horror and suspense driven, whereas the other two kind of turn into more sci-fi, action horror flicks, that kind of thing. A little more fast-paced, but this one is a little more patient. It does sort of build a bit more. I'd hesitate to even call it an action movie, really. It is, again, more of a horror suspense thing, which I did appreciate, being the horror genre fan that I am. Now some of the CG is a bit dated, but the environment itself actually looks fairly good. They didn't have much of a budget, but they do what they can with that. Vin Diesel, kind of has his, usual personality with it. Riddick is kind of a, sarcastic, SOB, but you kind of root for him against characters like Johns in the movie and everything like that. Radha Mitchell is pretty good in it as well as Carolyn Fry. She's a little more morally driven, a little bit more on the right, and you can kind of like her more than someone again like Johns. Of course, Keith David is a big actor in this genre as well, from The Thing and a bunch of his other work. He's a good one to have. He plays more of this type of priest they have in these worlds. So yeah, Pitch Black was good. Like I said, some of the CG is pretty dated when you start seeing these creatures, but again, they do build it well. And the ending is a bit surprising as well, and it's even more interesting when you look into how they're going to handle it when they only planned on it being one movie. It ends on a pretty good note. It leaves you feeling a little hollow, but then there's of course that burst of energy they leave it off on. So Pitch Black was pretty good. I wasn't completely blown away by it, but I was appreciated and kind of pleasantly surprised by how they went for it with this first initial movie. And I'd give it like a B-, like an 82% somewhere in there. So yeah, and now Riddick, or excuse me, the Chronicles of Riddick, which came out in 2004, again starring Vin Diesel as well as Carl Urban and Alexa Davalos. Excuse me, Linus Roach and Colin Feore. Sorry about that. I have issues with names for some reason. But yeah. So the wanted criminal Riddick arrives on a planet called Helium Prime and finds himself up against an invading empire called the Necromongers, an army that plans to convert or kill all humans in the universe. So again, this one, like I said, this one and the next movie, Riddick, are a lot more fast-paced, a little more sci-fi action-driven. Kind of more so what you'd expect from Vin Diesel doing this kind of movie. And, you know what you're getting with it. I mean, the effects are a bit better. It's a few years later, so things look a bit more updated. Vin Diesel is a bit of a bigger star at this point, so that's probably another reason for it. I guess I enjoy this too. I thought the exploration of who this Riddick guy actually is, and his ties to certain worlds, I thought was explored well enough. I've seen some people or critics say it was convoluted or it didn't make much sense. I thought they explained it well enough, for this type of story that they were trying to present here. Now there isn't really as much suspense and horror carried over from the first one as you would like. There's a sequence in a town with Keith David's character who reappears. That sort of gives you a similar feel for a second, but again, it's mostly sci-fi action driven. But there's actually some solid choreography and fight scenes here, and so it gave me another sense of satisfaction that different than what I got with the first. And I do like Alexa Davalos as well. She plays a character tied to Pitch Black as well. It's good to see her. Of course, she stars on a show called The Man in the High Castle, now on Amazon. She was in Mob City with John Bernthal. She appeared a little bit in The Punisher recently. I think she's a very excellent actress, and I liked her here too. Quite an ending as well. I wouldn't have completely minded if they left it here. But then that brings us to Riddick. And Chronicles of Riddick, in a way I don't think it leaves as much of a mark as a movie like Pitch Black did, maybe. But at the same time, part of me was more generally entertained in like a broad sense, I guess, than Pitch Black. So it's kind of a mixed thing for me. So I'd give it, just like a hair better. I'd give it like an 83% or something like that. B-, B, somewhere in there. Now Riddick, it brings Dave Bautista into it as sort of a supporting, antagonist type of figure here. Riddick is left for dead on a sun-scorched planet, finds himself up against an alien race of predators, activating an emergency beacon. He alerts two ships, one carrying a new breed of mercenary, the other captained by a man from Riddick's past. So this one, I think it had the biggest budget of the three movies. You would assume, right? Let's see, like it says an estimated 38 million. Maybe not, I don't know. Just going off of IMDb here. But yeah, this movie I liked, and I think it was very entertaining when you were going in for. Again, it's more of a sci-fi action adventure sort of thing with Riddick marooned on this world. That makes it for a bit of a different premise than the others. Sort of. It is at the same time a bit of a throwback to Pitch Black with the type of location he's in as well. But an issue I have with it is the CGI. It doesn't look quite right. A lot of times it looks like you have Vin Diesel just standing in front of a green screen at the background or everything. It looks clean, but it looks really artificial as well in places. Then this creature who he sort of once spawned with as a dog was kind of nice. But the CG with those things were off as well. I didn't really believe they were there. So I don't know, I felt like if those things were spruced up a bit, it could have improved the movie even more for me. But then, like the last quarter or so, it has some intense action sequences that I did like a lot. It brings a sort of a darker feel back to it all, sort of a callback to the style of the first film's ending. They really get in on the Riddick action there. I thought really actually delivered and maybe in a way saved the movie for me. I do think it's probably the weakest of the three in a way, but it's probably the one that like a casual audience could watch the most, I suppose, because Chronicles of Riddick probably has too much lore for people, and Pitch Black is probably too slow for others. I'd go into it just wanting a Vin Diesel actioner. Swindler's more that. It is bloody. There's a good amount of violence to it, which I liked. It is a bit long, I feel like. It's about 2 hours, slightly more if you watch the extended cut, which you should. And again, if you guys are questioning it, it says the extended cut has an alternate ending. It's not really so much an alternate ending as it is an extended ending. It adds a key scene, actually, that really ties it together with the other films in a really good, cool way that I hope they actually follow up on in another movie. But yeah, definitely watch the extended one to see the full ending, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, I enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't. But some of the CGI backgrounds did bug me. And it felt, in a way, sort of like, almost like a straight-to-DVD sequel in a way. But there's some cool scenes. Like I said, the action really does pick up the tone of it. Kind of comes back in a dark way that I appreciate towards the end. And Vin Diesel, again, he is likable. He has this really good kind of speech and standoff with some of these new mercenaries when he knows the eclipse is coming and such. They all just have to survive and forget about all that shit. Of course he does, but some of the others don't. So yeah, what do you guys thought about this? If I had to rate Riddick, I'm giving that one about an 80%. I don't really want to drop it to C+ necessarily, but maybe I could. It's somewhere around there, B-, C+. I could put it a little bit above that, maybe. It just kind of depends what mood I'm in. But yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Sorry if this review is all over the place. It's getting pretty warm over here. It's been hot in Michigan, for the past week or two, so I hope you guys enjoy this anyway. I definitely want to get my thoughts out there, and later.